Hey everyone, Robert here. It's April 28th, 2020, and I was on Facebook and I looked on a friend of mine's profile on this social media site, and I saw this text before the link post. Removed by YouTube. Listen before it's removed here. Now, usually whenever people make claims like this, I get this from conspiracy people, people on the far left, mainly people on the far right. And I wanted to check. Something in me decided to check. So I remembered posting this interview by Dr. Erickson and this other doctor whose name escapes me at this time about COVID-19 and the briefing that happened several weeks ago. So I went back on my site, and this is the link that I posted to a video on YouTube. So I went ahead and clicked on the video on YouTube, and this is what comes up. Nothing. Nothing at all. This video has been removed for violating YouTube's community guidelines. Now, usually if there's something like this, they will say that there is a copyright issue or something, someone else has claimed this, but community guidelines are something that has been on their radar for quite some time regarding COVID-19. But I wanted to go ahead and check some other things. On Steve's page, he links it to a media site. Now, if we go on here, you have to go on here to be able to get to it, or at least try to get to it. But if we go to the link and click on it, this is what you get. A blank page. This isn't the page loading. This is what you get. And I thought, well, okay, there is a redirect issue with regard to PJ Media. Okay, so I went on their site, was able to get their site, went and did a search, and I can see the search results for the article for the full video. Whenever I click on that, nothing. Absolutely nothing at all. And which gets into the whole crux of this video. These doctors are being censored, as well as anyone else across social media, and especially on YouTube, that have a somewhat different narrative to COVID-19, coronavirus, whatever you want to call it, than the established authorities that are already in charge of all this. Now, you can go on YouTube and you can do a search for Dr. Erickson and COVID-19, and you'll come up with this. And there are videos that are still up on YouTube. If I go ahead and play a little bit of it, you'll see.
We just don't have the volume. The hospitals don't, as I've met with their CEOs twice in the last...
Okay, so it is up, but the reason why it's up, and those of us that have been on YouTube long enough, we understand that the algorithms that are in charge of filtering out copywritten content or content that goes against guidelines usually goes from the top down, meaning that you got to have a lot of views before it starts looking at your content, or your channel has to have a lot of subscribers, or both. This video, from the standpoint of TubeBuddy's analytics, only has about 8.5 thousand views, which in the grand scheme of things isn't very much, and this channel's subscription base is a little over 2,500 subscribers. So they are, for the time being, going under the radar. And this is the thing. YouTube's community guidelines are set up with regard to this, and I made a video some time back talking about the COVID-19 YouTube guidelines for monetization, and the link to these guidelines are in that video description, and I'll put it in this video description. But it basically goes into what is allowed and what is not, and it is so broad with regard to how they've set things up that anything that goes against established authority or established truths of this pandemic is going to not only be demonetized, but also will be taken down. I warned about this in earlier videos that YouTube was setting things up to make their community guidelines so broad that if certain messages or certain video content gets out that they do not like, for whatever reason, and I understand that there's machine learning, but the AIs in charge of all this stuff are programmed. So whenever these things are programmed to search for things that go against established norms, these are the things that come out. So we are able to still see videos like this. And if I went ahead and did a search, Dr. Erickson COVID, I am going to find some search results and some videos that are still up. But not, and I can tell you this, there are not as many as there were. They are not near the top of the list of where they were. You're getting more commentary. You're getting more videos that just have COVID-19. You're getting more videos that do a lot of this stuff. And you can get into specific searches and things like that to sort of narrow things down. But the vast majority of videos, especially the full-length briefing, is starting to slowly but surely be eliminated from YouTube. YouTube is censoring these two doctors for providing empirical evidence that is going against the norm of what is being put out by the White House and by a lot of media outlets acting like doctors. And I think that's a little sketchy. So what can we do from the standpoint of being citizen journalists? And I think that's the thing. I think we all need to be citizen journalists at this point. We need to start doing our videos and doing our commentaries like I'm doing, but providing links in the descriptions. Provide the citation for your sources. You can go into browser extensions on your computer, or you can do it on your mobile device that allows you to cite. I mean, C-I-T-E. You can cite your sources, and you can show when it was last accessed, who the author is, where the website come from. So that goes a long ways into giving you, a citizen journalist, credibility. For me, whenever I did this, and with Dr. Erickson on YouTube, I put the links to the source material as well as whenever it was accessed. And you can see whenever it was published as well on YouTube. But all of these things need to be archived in a way as well. If you find some pertinent information, either via text or via audio or via video, if you have the ability to be able to record it and you think that it is important to record something that should be heard, then that needs to be recorded on your own system or on a mobile device. But it's probably best to start going old school with all of this stuff and start archiving some of these things. I know that sounds conspiracy. I know that sounds like, you know, bunker in the basement with tinfoil hats and things like that. But we are at a point now where if I, a year ago, looked into the future to see what's going on now, I would be a little bit paranoid as to what is happening with things, especially how we are getting our information. Because as I've said in previous videos, we, the American people, it doesn't matter whether you're Republican, Democrat, right or left, we are being herded in a general direction. And people that have dissenting voices, like Dr. Erickson and several other doctors that are going against the COVID-19 norm, they are being silenced and thrown down the memory hole. That's a little Orwell 1984 reference for you. But they're being thrown down the memory hole and being forgotten. So this is the thing. If your stuff is important and you're doing all this stuff and you're doing video and you're doing your research, make sure that after you put the stuff on that you archive it and save it on the machine, on a computer, on an external drive. Upload it to the cloud, although the cloud can be accessed and can be deleted from there as well. But I would start archiving your stuff, start citing your sources, start looking at things, and if you're getting your information, start creating your own content. Don't just start posting stuff from other sources that can easily be removed at the touch of a button. Okay, gone on long enough with this video.